Hello, hello. I'm actually outside on my balcony. It's such a wonderful day. Anyways, I'm sure some of you have come across my video because you're thinking, I want to work in Japan. That is the coolest thing ever. I want to do it. And there's so many horror stories out there because honestly, if you have a bad experience, you're going to want to write that up all over the web and share. So there's a lot more negative out there than positive. So here's my review of ALTIA. Now, ALTIA, I swear they're getting louder as I'm talking. Anyways, ALTIA is one of the ALT dispatch companies out there. I would call it a little higher quality than, say, Interact or whatnot. They're relatively newer, smaller, and actually growing pretty fast. And the interview process was actually quite easy. I'll give you a link to the recruiting website down below, and if you want to try it. But qualifications are a little tougher. They want someone who has teaching experience. This doesn't necessarily have to be in Japan. Day 0, they call it, of training are for people who are new to Japan and teaching in Japan. But they want you to have teaching experience. They do most of their hiring comes from in Japan. People leaving Interact or other ALT companies for whatever reason. But I sent my resume and cover letter and everything and quickly got a response from the recruiter, Graham, and went from there. The interview process was relatively comfortable and relaxing. We met at a cafe near Tokyo Station. It's a really nice cafe, and it started off with having a conversation about the difference between cafe latte and cafe au lait and what the difference in that was. So quite interesting. I was very relaxed, but it was a tough interview. I said some things and the reaction I got, I felt like I did something wrong. I didn't answer correctly, but I was just myself and answered the way I wanted to answer, not what they wanted to hear. But after that, it took a while because they hire to the specific location, like here. So they hire specifically to that location. So you get an offer of employment, especially if you're in Japan, quite late in the game, once they've figured out what contracts they have and where they can place you best. And they really worked hard to put my friend and I in the same city. So it probably took a little longer because they were trying to figure out what to do, and I think the person who had my position actually got moved so I could be here, and I feel really bad for that. And if you see this video, I'm sorry, but thank you. I love it here. I'm sure you did too. But anyways, training was some of the best training I've been to, but a lot of that comes from the fact that they kind of expect you to know some teaching aspects. So they do go over their specific techniques, and they do have like a specific way of doing the flashcards, a specific way of this and that. That if you are observed, they would, if you're doing what they think you're doing in terms of running the class the way they think you should be involved in the class, you should be using these techniques during observation or any other time for that matter. But every situation is different, so they're not too strict on that, I think. If you're not doing well, they are extremely supportive and helpful. My city actually lost an ALT. She wasn't cutting it, and they're getting a new one this month. But our supervisors, you're run by local supervisors who aren't so local, so there's a lot less hand-holding than in Interact. But the supervisor was in town and trying to help her for a while, like over a month, and giving her tips, observing, having her watch her or the other ALT in the school and all this, or him, sorry, my supervisor's male. But anyways, so they were very supportive, and it just did not work. They want you to be happy and someone who's approachable and doesn't scare the children, I guess. But it's been really helpful with that. One of the difference between Interact and ALTIA is ALTIA views your visa time and things like that more as it's your requirement for being here in the country, not their requirement to you so you can have the job. Where Interact will make sure you have the time off. I mean, of course, ALTIA makes sure you have the time off, but Interact will also reimburse you traveling on that day and everything, where ALTIA won't. Also, trying to think where it's different. Oh, like that horrible day where I missed the bus and everything. I'm under the assumption that they won't pay for a taxi. Where Interact was very much, if the weather's really bad or something, you have to take a taxi, let us know, and then send us the receipt and all that. ALTIA wasn't upfront about that, so I'm not entirely sure if they do that or not. But one of the things that has been driving me crazy, and is a negative for, it's not really ALTIA, it's kind of my fault, is the turning in of information. I turned in my traveling report, or my reimbursement form, not when they wanted, and I just did not understand. With breaking my finger and everything, I just did not comprehend and keep the information of when travel was due. That for 3 months I have messed it up, so I have not gotten the travel back on the paycheck it should be. It's the next month and so on, and with how things have been financially, it's been really frustrating. But that's on me, it's not them. They told me what to do, I just messed up. But they're a really good company, where Interact gives you, I think, even less now for summer vacation. ALTIA currently still has full pay all months. This includes in between contracts as well. Trying to think what else. Yeah, they're a really good company. I have been working for them for half a year so far. But if you have any questions or anything, go ahead and leave a comment or send me a message or whatever, and I'll try to get back. But I hope this was informative about ALTIA. ALTIA does state that they want you to have Japanese language. Part of that is the less of the hand-holding. Like I had the rent issue where I was close to being evicted, but they are my grantor. They did call them on that day, but by the time the supervisor and then all the messages got passed down to me, I had already talked to them myself and worked out what to do with the rent. So I think they like that, someone who could take care of themselves. But like my friend has very, very, very low Japanese, and I told them that she wanted to apply, but she didn't have the Japanese, so she didn't want to apply, and then was told she should apply, and then she got hired. So it's not 100% necessary. It's always worth a shot, but your chances will be a lot better if you have some Japanese under your belt. And like on their site, it says if you majored in some sort of Japanese or Asian studies, that's beneficial too. So, okay, I think I have rattled long enough about ALTIA, and hopefully your summer is going good and you're not frightened. My feet are burning right now through my socks on my balcony. All this so you can have this wonderful view behind me. And the cicada are starting to get annoying, but it's summer in Japan, and that's what summer's all about, being shiny and blah. I'm going to go back into my AC, currently set at 18 degrees, and the dehumidifier. Okay, until next time, guys. Ciao.